you guys one thing that Ryan Poles needs to do this offseason. Absolutely needs to. If he comes out of this offseason and doesn't accomplish this thing, you might as well possibly call the offseason a bit of a failure. I'm serious. Let's talk about it. What is going on, y'all? Faiz Sports Style back at it with another video talking, of course, man, I'm here to talk about the Chicago Bears. So if you're a Bears fan, hit the big red subscribe button, folks. Season-long and now off-season-long Bears coverage on this channel. You don't want to miss out. All right, so I mentioned that Ryan Poles needs to do one thing more important, I believe, than potentially anything else. Now, when I reveal it to you guys might be thinking, Faiz, you're being a bit hyperbolic, but trust me, when I break down the why, you will understand. And that one thing is acquiring a #1 wide receiver for Justin Fields. That's it. Now, you might be thinking, Faiz, duh, we know this. Like, we've talked about this, so everyone knows this. But the reason it is the #1 thing is because of the fact that it almost guarantees that Justin Fields will become a superstar. Now, he's already, had star moments, and he's already taken a huge leap forward this past season. But for him to step up into that top 10 tier as a quarterback and become one of the top quarterbacks in football, he needs a #1 wide receiver, folks. When I was researching this and, kind of looking to see why I felt this way, you guys will notice the reasons why. Take any top quarterback in football, and literally every single one of them has a bona fide #1 receiver. We're going to go through the list here, okay? Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs. Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown. Patrick Mahomes, it doesn't have to be a receiver, it could be a tight end, but he has Travis Kelce. Joe Burrow has Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Justin Herbert has Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. Dak Prescott has CeeDee Lamb. Kirk Cousins, even if you don't think he's a top quarterback, he's one of the better ones. He has Justin Jefferson. Like, the list goes on and on. And why this is important is because it expedites the growth for a young quarterback. I just mentioned a few of those guys. Allen, Tua, and especially Jalen Hurts. Those three are even more of an example because they all took off right when they got a #1 receiver. Josh Allen with Stephon Diggs, Tua Tagovailoa with Tyreek Hill, and then, of course, Jalen Hurts with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. All three of them took off. Jalen Hurts especially, man. Getting A.J. Brown via trade, oh my God. That was what he needed. So, to me, this offseason, that is arguably the #1 thing. Now, I know offensive line we need. I know defensive line we need. I know there's other positions of need. But I feel like Ryan Poles is going to handle these things. Like, I know we are going to address the offensive line. I'm pretty sure we're going to address defense. But Justin Fields' growth is going to be so much dependent on getting a #1 receiver. And as much as I love Darnell Mooney and as much as I love Chase Claypool, these guys are not #1 receivers. Darnell Mooney, I believe, is a #2, and Chase Claypool also is more of a #2, though some might argue a #3. So you need that guy at the top, that #1, who just absolutely makes Justin Fields' life easier, okay? I don't care how Ryan Poles does it, whether he drafts one or he trades for one. He signs one. He just needs to do it. And trust me, it doesn't have to be a veteran. I'm not saying we have to trade for DeAndre Hopkins or Devontae Adams. You can go out and draft one. Chris Olave, right? This past offseason, Chris Olave's got the makings of a #1 receiver. Garrett Wilson got the makings of a #1 receiver. Like, you can have rookies come in and you're like, yep, that guy's a #1 receiver. So Ryan Poles needs to give Justin Fields a #1 receiver because not only will it expedite his growth, it will expedite the one area everybody says he needs to improve in, which is the passing game. The passing game. We already know Justin Fields can run, but the passing game is going to just take off with a #1 receiver. So I'm just curious how Ryan Poles is going to do it, but he needs to do it. And we are probably going to be getting a boatload of draft picks after we trade the #1 pick. Let's draft a receiver. If not, let's trade for one. If not, let's sign one. Now, the signing is going to be a bit difficult. Not too many receivers out there that are number one receivers in free agency. Actually, I can't think of many, if any at all. But my point is, you need a number one receiver. Now, there is one guy that you might be saying, Faiz, what about Trevor Lawrence, right? He has Christian Kirk and Zay Jones as number one receiver. Well, or number 1 and 2. Well, good point. And I thought about it. But when I looked up their numbers, Christian Kirk had 1,100 yards. Zay Jones had over 800 receiving yards. We didn't get that type of production from our number 1 and 2 guys. If we got that production, sure, but we didn't. Now, again, Mooney got hurt and Claypool got traded mid-season. But my point is they weren't on that trajectory. And so to me, that is going to be just something that I will keep harping back on, because I just feel like this entire situation depends on Justin Fields taking off, right, as our quarterback, and you let him take off by giving him his running mate. Justin Fields can have a Jalen Hurts type of breakout season next season, I believe, if he gets his A.J. Brown. Just look at the type of breakout season Jalen Hurts had with A.J. Brown. Same thing with Tua getting Tyreek. Just imagine Justin Fields with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Imagine Justin Fields with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. So you get my point here. I know offensive line is important. I know D-line is important. But man, we got to find a way to get that number one receiver. We have to. And when you have one, you don't have to question it. You will know. So that is the number one thing Ryan Poles needs to achieve this offseason. Get that number one receiver for Justin Fields. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below as always. Thanks for watching.